Hey y'all, welcome back to Generally in the RV, and today I get to do a video with my husband, and I don't think you've actually been introduced. This is Carlo. He's usually behind the camera. So yeah, we wanted to just talk with you guys about like a little bit about us and why we started traveling, why we bought an RV. So that's what this video is about. And if you are new, welcome guys. I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and like this video as well. It really helps my video out when you like and comment. So yeah, let's get into the video. So we met in Florida, which I am originally from. We met, I was 19? What year was that? 2011? Right? Yeah, 2011.
Sure.
Yeah, in 2011, we met in the summer. We had been doing a camp, and he was the camp nurse, and I was about to go into nursing school. So we had that little, thing in common. And so we met, and we started dating the following October in 2011.
Yep.
Yeah. And after that, I think we dated 2 years because we got engaged in 2013, December in 2013. It was so cute. We were having a small little Christmas before Christmas because we were leaving. And yeah, he popped the question and my mom was able to get it on video, which that was really great. And yeah, it was super cute. And then we decided to wait a full year to get married. We got married December 12th, 2014. Nope. December 13th, 2014.
There you go.
Oh, I'm horrible. It's 12, 13, 14. So yeah, December 13th, 2014. That's horrible. Usually he forgets. Anyways, we got married sometime in December. I was a nurse at that time. I graduated in May of 2014, and he had already been a nurse, like I had said. So yeah, we just did the nursing thing for about a year in Florida, and got our puppy in January, Simon, which you've seen him in the videos.
So in September 2015, that's when I started traveling. At that time, it was just me first. She ended up staying behind in Florida. But after a couple months of doing that, we figured it was too hard.
Yeah,
so,
it was the worst 3 months ever.
But so that's when she decided she was coming with me to Reno. Mm-hmm. She ended up at a different hospital than where I was working though, but at least we were in the same city.
And that was December I moved. It was actually 2 days before Christmas, and our parents weren't that excited about that.
That's true. And the original plan was supposed to be that after this travel assignment, we were going to go staff and stay in Reno because we really just wanted to move to Reno. But after a few months of doing that, we've decided we're going full on traveling, do travel nursing, and it was a great decision.
Oh yeah.
So we stayed in Reno for a full year, and we decided we were going off to Oregon, and we got a great assignment there in Eugene, Oregon, if you guys ever want to check it out.
Yeah. It was January of 2017, too, when we left.
And while we were up there, we ran into a lot of tiny homes.
Yes. Oh,
and
gorgeous.
They looked good, they looked cute, but she really wanted one. I wasn't so sold into it, mainly because I didn't feel like they were very aerodynamic in the design. But
super cute.
It got us thinking into this pattern of, smaller living and mobile and RV houses.
So we had gotten an apartment while we were there because we actually stayed a full 8 months in Oregon, and we kind of just like packed, essentials like, couch, maybe like a little dining room table, but it was still a lot of stuff that we
TVs,
had.
of course.
I gotta have a TV. But yeah, it was quite difficult. I mean, granted, we were there for 8 months, but the moving part wasn't fun. We left in August. So we actually left to go to a wedding in Canada for 2 weeks, and Oregon had actually said like, oh yeah, we can extend you. We wanted to extend just for a couple more weeks, but when we got back from the wedding, they were like, sorry, you guys can't. We love you guys, but we just don't have, enough room in the budget, I guess was their reasoning. So we were like, oh crap, because we have a Europe trip in November of the 12th or something like that year, that we were like going off to Europe for 6 weeks. So between August and November was like 8 or 9 weeks, and we were like, what are we gonna do? Like, we need a job, we can't just sit around for that long a time. So he had called someone that he had worked with, one of the managers back in Reno, and yeah, she was able to sign us on for 8 weeks, which is amazing. Like, they do have those, but it's very rare. Sometimes they want you to do 13 weeks. So we packed up everything, all of our apartment, and then we went back to Reno, it's only 8 hours away from Eugene, so that was great. And then we got another apartment on the second floor.
So all that moving around and lugging all our, luggages and our sofas and beds.
Yeah.
That was when we really got to thinking we need a better solution. I don't want to do this anymore. If we're going to keep traveling for a while, I'm not going to be moving around all this furniture.
And it was only for 8 weeks that we were there.
So after that 8 weeks, we packed everything up again and we
put it in a storage unit
and we
here
started heading to Florida. So while actually we were in Oregon, that's when we started thinking about getting an RV.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were there, we were looking around at some models.
Yeah.
We didn't find anything that we liked. While we were in Reno, we didn't find anything we liked. Finally, when we got to Florida...
But we did know the layout because we had seen it online. So we wanted the extra bedroom and the dark furniture, the dinette. So we knew exactly like the model that we wanted, which is a mid-bunk. 40 foot mid-bunk, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So when we got to Florida, we just so happened her grandparents goes to this RV place called Robin's Camper and Sales. That's where they buy and sell their RV. And they told us to just go by there, check it out, see what they have. Yeah. And if they have it, great. If they're not, no. So just one day we were just driving by it and we didn't have any plans. We're just like, hey, there's that RV spot that your grandparents go to. Let's go see. Sure enough, we get there and we asked the guy exactly what model we wanted. He was like, oh, we don't have that model, but we just got a brand new one today. But I don't know what it is. But it's a fifth wheel and it's a 40-footer that you wanted.
Yeah. Because at this point, we literally were going to places, just going straight up and being like, this is the model that we want. Do you have it? No? Okay. And then we just left. Because we're like, we know what we want.
So we went in there and they were like, oh, they're still cleaning it. So, excuse the mess and all that. We walk in and the lady that was in there cleaning the place was like, it's not ready yet. We're like, oh, we know. We just wanted to see what model it was to see if we're interested. And sure enough, we walked in. It was the exact model, the exact color furniture, the design.
Everything. It was such a God thing. Amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So then we told them we were interested and the guy didn't even know the price or what they were going to sell it for because they had just gotten it that day. So... of course, I did my research like real quick on my phone as far as like how much this model was selling for used. And so when he came out with the price, it was well below, what online was saying that it was selling for, and it was definitely well below what the retail price was. Yeah. So at that point in time, it was just a win-win. Yeah. And of course, I had to bargain and try to see if I can get a lower price. Yeah. But they said, since they just got it that day, they couldn't drop it. But
understood.
I was able to negotiate for other perks. I got like the fifth wheel hitch, extra TV, some credit to their store.
And I, of course, like as he's talking, the guy is trying to like get more, and I'm just like, I want it. Like I was like so excited.
So even though we couldn't get a decrease in the price, I was able to get some perks with it.
Yeah.
But just being able to find the right RV, the model, everything was just so amazing. Yeah. And we were definitely very happy.
Like I said, he definitely did get me. I still want a tiny house because eventually we are gonna stop, traveling. We don't know when. Everyone asks us when, but maybe a tiny house when we, buy some land. Maybe we can do a tiny house because we love being minimalist. I think it's the most amazing thing ever. I love not having a lot of stuff. It's great. So we'll definitely be doing this
for a little while.
We always say like 5 years, but we've been saying that since we started. So, and it's already been
going on 4.
4. So everyone, I don't know, this is my number, like, 5 more years. We'll see how long that lasts.
Well, after we bought it, we were leaving for Europe, and they were nice enough to keep the RV for 6 weeks because we were going to be gone the whole time. And so we were in Europe when I got a call about San Bernardino, and it was exciting because, we have a spot, we have an RV, but now I have to find an RV park. And I've never done anything like that before. So it was difficult being in Europe with the time difference and just
only being on Wi-Fi.
To make calls. Yeah. Sure enough, I would just call and leave a message every day. Finally, this place in Redlands, I was able to get a hold of them right when they were about to close. And it just so happens that somebody had turned in their notice that they were leaving, so we were able to secure that spot right away. And being a relief, while we're still overseas, to have a job, to have a spot,
great lined up.
It lined up great.
Yeah.
And the only thing was, at this point, now we needed to buy a truck.
Yeah.
and which is actually a good thing that
It's
you
not
need to
backwards.
buy. You need to buy an RV first
Yeah.
before the truck, because you don't want to end up with a truck that is not big enough to pull the RV that you want. So, knowing exactly how much this fifth wheel weighs, we knew exactly what truck we wanted and what upgrades we wanted to put on it, so we can safely pull this across the country multiple times.
And definitely with traveling, I know we just do a lot of research because obviously you don't know the area. So we like to talk with people, like just randomly, you know, like, oh, we're going to Eugene. And I don't know, we usually get a lot of people like, oh, you don't want to live in Springfield. And the hospital was in Springfield. So we're like, okay. Which,
and it was pretty nice. It
was
wasn't bad.
nice.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, they were like, live in Eugene. So we did. And it was a nice area. And then
Same in San Bernardino.
they were like, don't live in San Bernardino. So we're like, okay. So to live in Redlands. So yeah, just doing your own research, and there's so many traveler websites for Facebook, and just, you know, just talking with people where to live.
Yeah.
But we do try to stay like within 20 minutes of the hospital, because I mean you're going there 3 times a week, sometimes more. So we want to be at least a little bit closer. So.
And it ended up working out because that place in Redlands was only about 6 to 7 miles away from the hospital. So
hardly any traffic.
Yeah, hardly any traffic, which is great for being in that Los Angeles area, and dodged a bullet there.
And a week after we started, I got pregnant, or I found out I was pregnant. I actually got pregnant in December, but anyways, we found out we were pregnant with Roman. So that was really great. The hospital was amazing, just with, you know, they knew I was, obviously told them I was pregnant, and they just worked with me, and so I'm really grateful for that they, you know, kept me safe, kept my baby safe, which is really great. So, yeah.
So then after our assignment there, we wanted, so her second and third trimester to be somewhere where we have family, where we know we have a lot of friends, and somewhere that's familiar to keep the stress levels down. But we did not want to be in Florida. So, of course, where did we end up?
Reno.
Back in Reno again. So, we were here for 6-7 months.
April to November.
Roman was born in September, so she just worked until September. I worked all the way till like the first week of November.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. They really took great care of us here. We gave birth to Roman at Renown.
Yeah, which is where we worked.
Which is where we worked, and it was amazing. We had a good experience.
And actually, I just wanted to mention, with an RV park here, Reno is really great in the summer because they have a lot of events, but it's very hard to find an RV spot in the summer. And
they have a lot of events and a lot of people coming from out of town, and the RV parks are full. And actually, most of them don't even have monthly rentals for the summer.
Yeah.
They will just kind of switch it to where if you want to stay through the summer, they'll charge you like a dailies or
sometimes
weekly. There are some places that continue your monthlies, but we found that a few of them don't have monthly rentals during the summer.
Right. Or that they were just packed with all of their monthlies. You know, they only had like 10 spots or something. Like we, I think, called every single RV park around Reno.
But so just one day we couldn't find anything, so she decided to look on Craigslist, and we found this lady that had 5 acres in South Reno. They used to have RVs, but they don't anymore. So they had the hookups on their property, so they just rent it out. And
there was actually a lady that called, like, I think 2 hours before me, because I remember she had just like updated it that morning, and it was like, you know, noon, and so I, you know, called her, and she was like, oh, well, this other lady, you know, kind of, you know, called before, she wants to check it out, but if it doesn't work out, you know, I'll give you a call. I was like, yeah, great, we're, you know, very interested. So yeah, it ended up not working out, which was an amazing thing, because I don't know where we would have gone, because we had the jobs, but we didn't have an RV spot.
And I really didn't want to have to pay the daily rates, because it would have been very expensive.
High. Yeah.
But that was actually one of the best spots that we've ever been in. It was, you know, we had 5 acres. Our dog loved it. We just let him run around, and, you know, just sometimes he'd be gone for 2 hours, and, you know,
he always came back.
Eventually came back. And
wild horses.
There's wild horses. There was deer out there, and there was also coyotes. So you guys gotta watch out at night.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a great spot.
Great spot, and only 20 minutes from the hospital, which was great for work and when I delivered. So that was great too.
Then after that, so about November, the first week of November is when our contract ended. We decided we wanted to go back home to Florida for the whole family to meet baby Roman.
Yeah, because he was like 2 months old at that time.
So we drove across the country the first time, or actually the second time with the RV, but this time it was in the winter, and it was
with
very
a newborn.
easy with a newborn
And a dog.
Yeah. It was easier because we were able to just stop at the gas stations and like the truck stops, and it was cold enough to where, you know, when we were sleeping, we just had the propane heater on.
Didn't need the electricity or anything.
Yeah. So it was a 4-day trip, but it worked out. You know, we saved a lot of money in terms of getting hotel rooms, but you know, you kind of pay the difference in gas, but still.
Yeah.
And when we got back to Florida, her grandparents actually has a hookup for the RV,
like on their property.
On the side yard, on the backyard,
something like that. Yeah.
And you know, not having to look for a spot was amazing.
Yes, and no rent. That's
no
great
rent.
Too.
We just had to pay the difference in electricity.
Yeah, which wasn't much.
But other than that, it was great to have, you know, a place to park at home.
Yeah, so we stayed for 2 months there through the holidays.
So I got a call in December for a strike assignment in California, and this kind of opened up our world to strike nursing, and eventually we will kind of focus on strike assignments instead of travel nursing. But so strike nursing is definitely, you know, you work a lot, but the benefits, you know, outweigh all that working. Yeah. And sure enough, after working that strike, we had a very good Christmas. You know, we bought a lot of random stuff for us and for Roman. And we went on a spontaneous trip to New York.
Why not, you know?
You know, we were there right after Christmas, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. Yeah. Shortly after that, we wanted to stay in the southeast, kind of, just to be able to visit family with Roman and for them to be able to spend some time with him.
But Florida there wasn't a lot of jobs out there, and we went down to one income, so we had to make sure that, you know, a certain amount of money in order to pay bills. So
we had some friends from Reno that was travelers that got an assignment in Savannah, Georgia,
which is 3 hours away from our home.
So sure enough, I submitted. A couple days later, I got a phone call with an interview, got the job. And the pay was great for being in the South.
West Coast pay. From
everything that I heard, they really, you know, stuck with like the 2-to-1 assignment for the ICUs and the teles and stuff. And when I got there, it was great. I loved it.
It's not normal in the South. They usually go up to like 3.
Yeah. So I mean, we loved it. I loved the hospital. It was great. Yeah. The people were nice. All my coworkers were amazing.
The area, I mean, the restaurants and the parks.
The southern food.
Oh, some good food there. And that's like a downtown, old, tiny type of, you know, area. And they have a lot of events too in the summer, which was great. But yeah, we loved Savannah. And the park was really great too. It's kind of a smaller one. It was only like 20, 25 RVs. And it was like a grassy area.
You weren't lined up like an RV park.
Yeah.
It wasn't all just like rows.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you had a lot, and the lot, you know, was big enough to where we had the RV. There was a front yard, and we had three fence, and it was very spacious. You know, our neighbor was probably a good, 15, 20 yards.
Yeah.
You know, next to us, so there was plenty of spot.
And all the big southern trees, so much shade. Ugh.
Kept it cool, especially when it started, when May hit, it started getting really hot.
Yeah.
And
so yeah, we were in...
That's actually why we ended up leaving.
Yeah, we were only there till July.
So we were there from January till July.
Yeah.
Mainly because starting May, it was just so hot, so humid. It was starting to get a little rough, and we were really missing being in the West Coast with the dry heat.
And we kept saying to each other, why? This is why we left. Like, why are we here?
So when we told our parents that we were leaving to go back to the West Coast, they were not happy.
Not happy. But we were.
We were.
We were happy. I wanted a white Christmas. I haven't had a white Christmas in like 3 years.
She wanted a white Christmas. I wanted to go snowboarding for the winter. So we're trying to figure out where we wanted to go. And then sure enough, we're just like, why don't we just go back to Reno? It's like, we'll get the best of both worlds there. We get the weather we want, the hospital that's a good hospital. We get the snow, and then I'll be able to go snowboarding. Yeah.
And our friends here.
Our friends are here. Yeah. And so it was
win-win.
It was a win-win. So made a couple of phone calls, And a few days later, got an interview,
Yep.
got the job,
Yep.
and we're back in Reno.
Yep. And traveling with a 7-month-old.
It's a lot different than the 2-month-old.
8-month-old. Yeah, 7, 8-month-old. Yeah. Way different than a newborn.
Because this time around, he was a lot more awake. He's like definitely fuzzier. He wants to get out of that car seat. I mean, he wants to be in the car seat for 5 hours at a time.
I know.
But it was a little bit harder.
We got through it.
And we traveled during the summer.
Yeah.
So we definitely stopped at RV parks on the way back. And we made it a nice long trip.
Yeah, we made it a trip out of it. We specifically stopped in spots.
Yeah, we went to a couple cities. We went to New Orleans. We went to Waco, Texas. Visit Joanna Gaines. Their little shop there, which she absolutely loved. Went to Kansas City. Went to Mount Rushmore.
It's in South Dakota. If you guys didn't know that.
And then we went to Yellowstone.
Oh, gorgeous.
Which was amazing out there. Saw a lot of wild animals.
Yeah.
And then from there, we ended up in Reno. So it was definitely a great trip.
Oh, yeah.
And
breaking it up like that, I think we did a full 2 weeks. Helped out a lot.
Each day we were only driving for 7 hours, so it wasn't too bad as far as having Roman in the car.
So in August we're here in Reno till hopefully next May, because they do 9 months here is the extent, the max that you can. So we pray that we'll be able to stay the full 9 months. But if you've noticed with our back and forth, we go to Reno,
and we go,
and then we go somewhere else, Oregon, Reno, and then LA, and then Reno. And then Savannah, and back in Reno. So
who knows? We'll be at where we will be next time. But then I'm sure we'll be back in Reno again the following time after that.
And as you notice, because we've seen the outside, we are not in that South Meadows spot. It wasn't available this time. Actually, friends of ours that we had told the spot about, they've been there, which is great for them. But we did find a pretty good spot.
We got one right at downtown, and it's so close to everything. And I leave for work at 6:30. I clock in by 6:42.
Yeah.
So it's so close that it's a lot closer to our friends. It does cost a little bit more as far as rent, but the amount of money we were saving as far as the gas from driving in and out, it breaks even.
Yeah. And our area is fenced, so I can just let the dog out.
Fence all 4 sides.
Yeah, all 4 sides, so he can just pee. But of course, we still go to like dog parks and stuff. He's a big dog; he needs to get his energy out.
But it's so convenient, just like when you're half asleep, just he needs to go pee. And all right, go.
Go ahead.
Come on back.
So, but yeah, and then we just wanted to end this was the reason why we decided to get the RV. As he had mentioned, I have loved tiny houses. I didn't like the outside of RVs. I thought they just didn't look great. Tiny houses are just cute little house. So he actually tricked me. You can tell that story.
So I found an RV that was a little bit on the higher end, and how the furnishings, the furniture, like the cabinets, everything was pretty nice, a little high end.
Yeah.
So I showed it to her, and I'm like, oh, this is a great one, blah blah blah, and it only costs $40,000 as far as compared to the tiny houses, which could run you about 60, 70.
Sometimes 100. They're kind of expensive.
I just sold her on everything about the inside, and then when she was on board, that's when I showed her the outside, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, that's a fifth wheel!"
Mad.
I'm like, "Yeah, that's a fifth wheel," and guess what? It's aerodynamic. It's it's perfect for when you're moving around all the time. It's this, and that's when she finally agreed. I agreed
instantly. I was like, "Okay, you got me." I can't even argue that. So that's the video. I hope you guys liked it. It's a little bit of a different video, and I'm glad that my husband was able to join. And if you love having him in the videos, comment below, like the video, because that really, really helps my channel, guys. And subscribe, the red button and that little bell. Turn that on. Every Thursday I update y'all. So yeah, turn in next week for Jen Lee in the RV.